Last but not least, tonight, the Guardians are taking on the Dodgers, and it is on WKYC, the same building that we broadcast out of. First pitch at 7:10. The broadcast starts at 7 o'clock on WKYC. It's their 5th annual give-a-thon, so please tune in. If you can donate, that would be awesome. But Dodgers, Guardians, 7 o'clock tonight on WKYC. And for the first time in a long time, Bull, we have to start the show with the Guardians topic here.
Yeah, there's nothing to do with the game, which they did actually get a rare win yesterday. Cole Calhoun homered in that game, which I don't know why they're playing. I don't care that he homered. He shouldn't be playing. He's a journeyman veteran batting third in the lineup.
Who was that?
He's been around. He was cut. He was a free agent. He'd been cut during the season, and now he's batting third for the Guardians. Although he did it all home runs, so I guess I can't kill him.
I'm about to say, why you down? Noah
because
Syndergaard was rolling.
He has no future with the organization. What's the point of playing him?
Noah Syndergaard doesn't either. But
he doesn't either.
What, he had 4 or 5 strikeouts yesterday?
Yeah, he stinks, but he had an okay game yesterday.
Wow.
Got shot. He hasn't been good in years. Anyway, but the big news out of the Guardians, guys, is, and I got the phone up because I want to read the exact quote, but Terry Francona basically said yesterday that he's retiring at the end of the season. Now, he didn't flat out say it. You can't really read that on there, but I'll read it to you, what Mandy tweeted. This is what Terry Francona had to say yesterday before the game. I've talked to Chris Antonetti and Mike Chernoff at length about the future and everything because I don't want to put them in any remotely kind of predicament. So we've had a lot of talks about moving forward. I mean, I think I felt my whole career like the players always have to come first. I mean, I remember being in Birmingham and South Bend. By the way, he managed Michael Jordan in Birmingham.
Yeah, he did.
And thinking about the players come first in the organization, and my situation will always take care of itself. I think to deviate from that now is wrong. So I think there's a time, and there will be a time, to answer any question there might be about what I'm going to do or not do. I don't think that's not because I don't ever want this. It can't be on me, and I can't just let it. The other part is I don't want to lie or I don't want to fib. We've all seen coaches, but they're going somewhere and somebody asks them a question point blank and they go no, and then an hour later they got a 6-year deal. I don't want to ever be like that. Just telling you that we're getting there and there is just a time, I think, to do it appropriately. If Francona was going to retire, I think he should have just said it yesterday. I think that it's more of a distraction that he didn't say it with 100% certainty. But reading that to me felt like he's definitely retired. What do you guys think?
I don't think he really talked like this in the past.
Never.
And so if you start talking like that, that means you've been thinking about it. And if you thought about it, then it's time. I mean, because usually, being in the sport, even being a manager or a coach, you've always thought about what's next. Like we got to get here next year, or next year I want my team to be here. I'm always thinking about the team. But whenever you take that time to sit back and reflect on your career and think man, it's probably about to be it. It's over with. I don't think you really can bounce back from that. And we know that he's had a bunch of, some health concerns and stuff like that. We know he's getting older and we know he can't do it forever. I tell you what, when he do leave, it's going to be a sad day. And I think this might be it. I think because it's sad that they never gave him the team that he needed to win it all. So
it's also sad that our graphic said he was 3-time coach of the year. He's 3-time manager of the year.
Manager didn't fit on the graphic, so I switched it to coach. That was an editorial decision to fit in one
graphic.
There
you go. Stand on it, Big Nuggets. Don't let Bull make you feel bad.
He got mad at me for abbreviating practice to PRAX, and I had to explain to him, there's only so much room on a mini graphic.
I want more room, Mike. Get more room on there.
You really like that when it comes to grammar?
No, not grammar. Really. That's not grammar.
I mean,
I don't give a shit about grammar.
I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
This reminds me of the late, great Frank Ocean.
Oh, man.
I've been thinking about you. Ooh, nah, nah, nah. I've been thinking about you. Ooh, nah, nah.
Thinking about that retirement, huh?
He been thinking about him, too. By the way, Tito, I told y'all this was coming. I told you. This has always been my problem in professional athletics, especially when it comes to the Guardians. They've sat there, and basically what they do, Tito's sitting there like, they just wasted years of my life.
Man.
They wait. All of this, were all the prospects worth it? Were all the trades worth it? Because at the end of the day, they felt like Tito was going to be there forever. and they can say we got the best front office with Antonetti, and it started off with Shapiro and Chernoff. Like, anytime you mentioning your coach, your front office executives, and the marketing people, you ain't got no ball players. That's facts.
Well, to be fair, in 16-17, they had a team good enough to win the World Series.
That's damn near 10 years ago, bull.
I hear you.
That is about 10 years.
We be thinking like that's like yesterday.
You can't say they wasted his whole time here.
I didn't say that.
I mean, he went to the playoffs, so most of the years he was
Can
here.
you say that they gave him
And-
the roster he needed?
No.
to
Not in the last couple of years, no. But they were one win. I didn't think they were that good, but they were one win away from the ALCS last year.
And
So let's not make it seem that they've had a bad team.
In your heart of hearts, you know,
Yeah.
as a baseball man,
Yeah.
the Guardians have not had the horses or the roster to seriously compete. The only reason they have been competing is because the division is terrible, and in baseball, you could get lucky.
You know what?
There's a lot of truth there. They had the roster to compete in 16-17.
16-17.
But in recent years, no, they haven't. In the last few years, they have not had a roster to truly compete with the best teams in the American League.
You know
there
what?
is some luck,
And this type of year will kill somebody.
You know what's interesting?
It's agonizing.
I wonder how long did he ever tell them, like, I'm thinking about hanging it up.
I'm sure they have a
Yeah.
good relationship.
They knew.
so
They knew.
if you know that this is potentially his last year,
Yeah.
before the deadline,
Wow.
why would you not try to give him one last
Wow.
hurrah? Like,
I will say
that's terrible.
even
That's a slap in the face.
Well, first of all, who knows? Maybe it was after the deadline that it really was like, okay, this is going to be it.
Do you think?
But-
Do you think the deadline moves? Tyvis,
No.
That's a great point. You don't think the deadline moves pushed him
Man.
towards
Oh,
the
it
end?
definitely did.
Because they had to go down there and explain them. Anytime they was on lockstep, they would have never had to go explain that to the team. You know why? Because Tito was always explaining it to the team. Tito had the lockstep with all the veterans. And even Tito couldn't explain it when all the veterans was getting traded. And at the same time, they're like, well what are we doing here?
But the reality is this team was not good enough at the trade deadline anyway.
Facts.
They weren't going to win anything in the playoffs, even if they did make it. So I don't think this pushed them over the top. Maybe Francona was pissed that they decided to sell. He might have been. But I think he's been in and out of the locker room for the last bunch of years due to a variety of illness and, physical condition, surgeries that he's had. So it's probably a good time for him to retire. I think he's had his worst year as manager. They may need some fresh blood running the team.
Listen.
But the team is not very good.
I remember what fresh
Yeah.
blood looked like before Manny Acta, Eric Wedge.
Yeah,
I mean,
listen.
you can get an Eric Wedge up in here, and you ain't gonna be getting the same type of production, squeezing juice out of these rocks.
That's fair, but like every other sport, in my opinion, there's a few managers that move the needle in a positive way, / coaches. There's a few that move it in the negative way. Most are near the middle, and it depends on the talent. And they don't have enough talent, no matter who their manager is right now.
But before this season, I think you have said he is one of those coaches that
He is. But at this point, he's really old. He's had all these health issues. I mean, how old is? You got his exact age, Mike?
Terry Francona?
Yeah.
If you give me 1 second.
He's got to be close to 70, no?
I mean, it wasn't gonna last forever. I was
Terry
hoping.
Francona is 64 years old.
Oh, all right.
I mean, that ain't 65 is the age of retirement.
Man,
So
shoot,
that pension come in at
hold on.
65.
I think they could use some young blood now.
What?
Hold on, these presidential cycles keep coming through. That number gonna be like 76 for us. You better stop playing around.
Wait a minute.
65.
Hold on. 65 is the age of retirement. But if you go to the NFL and you get the pension, 55.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you got the good pension. How many you got? You get a pension?
Yeah, I got my pension.
Hey,
What's
man,
Got to
wrong
play
with
3
you?
years.
You got to play 3 years and 3 games. Don't let them fool you. You got to play the 3 games after your third year is where they get you at.
Hey, shout out to your wife.
A lot of
man.
people probably get screwed by
you
that.
in there, girl.
Hey,
Girl,
hey.
you good. All you got to do
It
is
don't come till I'm 55, you know.
It is sad that it's going to end this way for Francona because he's had such a great run here. The team has mostly been very good. For him to end on his worst season, but that's how it ended in Boston too with him. But he won a World Series there.
He should do a last tour. What's they call it when it's your last year?
Farewell tour.
Farewell tour
Well, that's what Miguel
of
Cabrera's
next
doing.
season. That's what he should do next
That's
season.
what Miguel Cabrera's been doing.
You know what? Listen, I agree with Tyvis.
You can't go out like
don't
this.
go out like that.
You can't go out like this.
Don't go out like that.
Hey, you know what?
Don't do
Maybe
that.
that's why he
this.
did. It's possible he didn't say he's retiring because maybe at the end of the year they'll say I'm doing it one more year.
Yeah, don't.
Maybe that's it. I mean,
Don't
it's
go
possible.
out. Don't go out like that. Maybe they can muster some magic. They got some of these young arms. Like maybe that'll rejuvenate them or something. But don't go out like this, bro. It's terrible.
It is interesting. You bring up the trade deadline. You wonder, Francona's always had a really good relationship, a good working relationship with the front office, and you wonder if what happened this year created maybe some tension or maybe some discontent between manager and front office for the first time, and maybe that's why, maybe it is why, or a part of the reason that is pushing him towards retirement.
And really quickly, like Bull, just to give you an example, like, you worked in radio for 11, 12 years, right?
11, 12, I worked for 20 years.
Well, in this market,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And number one rated show, loved it. Some things happened in your life personally, and you were like, man, okay, well, I want a few concessions. I want to do a couple other different things. And when that wasn't, you felt the organization didn't support you in those things, you were forced to say, I got to step away a little bit.
Right.
And so you know how it is that when you're used to competing at a high level, and you used to winning, and you used to at least being in the mix, and you know you don't got that much left in the tank, you really want to go for it. Like it makes it worth the grind. The grind, it's a long season.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to at least be in the mix. And when they wasn't in the mix, he like, listen, do I got the energy to do that? Because
Right.
losing zaps your energy.
No, that's fair. The older you get, the more years you've been there, the less patience you're going to have for a rebuild or starting over.
The worst thing you could do as a athlete or as a coach is to retire early and think to yourself, I could have gave it one more year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think when you done, you'll know, like, I can't do it no more.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's there yet.
So you don't think based on his comments he's definitely retiring? He's certainly thinking about it.
I'm about to say he definitely thinking about it
These
for
L's
sure.
he's taking.
But them L's is bad. They go out there and who knows, man? They go out there and they win a couple more games.
It would be cool if he decided to give it one more year. We know that next year's his final
give us
year.
fair, so we could at least give him let him ride out the way he's supposed to ride out.
Hopefully,
I think the players respect him enough to, if they know that it's his last year, it's like, we going to do everything we can and at least let him go out on top.
What does that say about the team if they're not doing everything they can already?
Well, that's just
It's just a little bit more motivation.
Yeah.
Just a little bit
I
more
hear
motivation.
you.
Because some people come in and be like, my check is clearing
Yeah,
on Friday, so it don't really matter.
That's true. Yeah, Mikey.
I got two questions for you, Tyvis. I'll start with you. We'll go to Bull, then I'll ask my second one. Is this his last year, or does he have one more in him?
One more. You can't go out like that.
G?
You not about to retire.
One more,
like
man.
this.
I think this is it.
Okay.
But I'd like him to do one more. But it's time for him. It's about time.
So whether or not this is the end or he has one more year, Bull, I know you're the baseball expert out there today. Who do you think the Guardians should target
Oh, Lord.
as his replacement if he does decide to step away?
It's a great question.
Man.
Thank you very much.
A lot of people are suggesting Kevin Cash. But first of all, with current managers, we don't have as much information on like their length of their contract or how much we're getting paid. We don't find out that information. It's not made as public as it's so hard to find those things.
I don't understand how that is.
Yeah, it's weird with GMs and coaches. It's a little hard, especially in baseball. Yeah, I feel like you don't know. I don't know how much any of the managers are making.
School me on who Kevin Cash is.
Kevin Cash is the manager of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh,
Did
okay.
a great job with
Okay.
Tampa Bay. He was Terry Francona's bench coach for many years before going to Tampa.
Okay.
The thing I would ask for those who a lot of people were suggesting to me Kevin Cash is why would he leave Tampa?
That's a good
Like
question.
Tampa's a similar organization to Cleveland.
Is he the manager?
He's the manager. Of
Oh,
Tampa
he
Bay.
ain't leaving there.
And right now they're a way better team.
That doesn't
than
even make
Cleveland.
sense. Yeah.
So why would he leave there?
Unless he got like some type of roots in Cleveland. Does he got like?
I don't think so. I mean, he's
tie?
worked here, but I don't think he's from here. or
Oh
anything.
yeah, no.
Any chance Sandy Alomar gets it?
Well, that's another name I was going to mention. So Sandy's been talked about for being a manager for a long time.
Kevin Cash is from Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
so
he ain't
yeah,
leaving.
no.
He ain't
He
leaving.
good.
But like, how old is Sandy at this point? He's in his 50s, right? I mean, I think if Sandy was going to manage a team, it probably would have happened already.
He's
Go ahead,
50,
Mike.
57.
Yeah, I mean,
He
you're gonna
getting up there.
I don't know about like starting with a new manager who's never managed before at 57. Now, listen, the guy was a great player. He might end up being a great manager. I like leaning towards a younger guy at this point.
Said he has some
How
goodwill
young
built
you
in.
talking?
Not too young, but someone that's played more recently.
Okay. I mean, it is a different day and age.
It is. You know, you got to be. I feel bad because it feels like Sandy deserves.
Yeah.
But I do think their bench coach, DeMarlo Hale. How old is he, Mike? Because I think DeMarlo Hale, who's become their bench coach, may have passed Sandy as like the guy in waiting.
He's 62.
He's old too.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know what man, 62.
I think if they wanted to,
I think they're going to stay within the organization.
I do too.
I really that's what they do. I think Sandy or DeMarlo Hale, even though they're older, are both all right choices.
and they can market the hell out of that. They have some goodwill built in with the fan base.
They got good
He's
chemistry
a
with the
familiar
players.
name. He's a guy who's already been there. And plus, I think if they're going to be terrible for 2 years, at least Sandy will be
Yeah.
entertaining to talk to for 2
Whoa.
years.
See
To be
what
terrible.
Even better, if you want to do that, then go make Manny Ramirez the manager.
Oh Lord,
That would be the
Wouldn't
greatest
that
thing
would be
ever.
something? Wouldn't that be something?
That would be the greatest thing ever. Manny being Manny.
Oh Lord, Jesus! You thought Ozzie?
He'd do
you
it.
think Ozzie Guillen? Like
Yeah.
Ozzie Guillen was crazy, right?
He'd do it too.
Now Manny, come on, man.
Make Albert Bell his hitting coach.
Manny would do it. I'd be down for that.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I'd be down
It's
for
not
that.
going to be Manny, but that would be awesome from our perspective, media perspective.
Yeah.
If you had Manny as the manager, you had
Bell
Albert Bell as
the
hitting coach.
What if Kenny Lofton was media relations?
There you go, Kenny Lofton. He's kind of crazy
You'd
too.
be like, listen, why you ask that question?
Yeah. Who would be the pitching coach? I'm trying to think of. Bring back Chris Perez, who mailed pot to his dog. Pot mailed to his dog.
Trevor Bauer?
Oh Lord.
No,
Don't
Chris
do
Perez.
that.
Nah,
Don't do
Trevor
that.
Bauer's
Don't
even a step too far for
Don't do that.
I was just trying to create the
You can bring
ultimate
back
chaos
Chris Perez
coaching
to be
staff.
Don't do that.
pitching coach.
Bro, we already got we got enough problems in Cleveland as it is. These national media dudes will be all over.
Oh my
You
God.
imagine if they bring Barr back? What is going on? I
told you.
With the Cleveland.
I told you what Cleveland is rehab to athletes. They come here and they get their lives back situated.
Or this used to be the place where you come to cash your final check.
That's true too. 'Cause they was paying.
Willie McGinnis got his life. You be like, what? This dude is 35. How you sign a 35-year-old? What?
Jamal
Dwayne
Lewis
Bowe.
came, Dwayne Bowe.
Oh, that was
grand larceny.
Man,
Oh my
listen,
God.
ski mask.
He hit him with a finger gun. Give me all the money.
he was awful.
And by,
all
the way,
the money.
and by the way, they haven't. See, the powers that be are a little too late. See, we be doing all kind of mixed signals, and they don't know what it mean yet. So when people be doing this, I'm just waiting for them to understand what this really means.
What, the ski mask?
Yeah,
They don't know what that means?
no, don't tell them because they'll get it.
That's a mask. He pulling his mask
Hey,
down. Okay.
we saw 2 African Americans.
Oh,
they told
man.
us exactly.
So
what
when
they
they see DVs and these
They
receivers
don't know.
score, they do the handshake and they go,
they don't know. They don't.
oh,
they're
that's a
confused.
shame.
Like they're confused. They don't know. They
Yeah.
haven't outlawed it yet. So, but it's coming. It's gonna come. They're
All
gonna
right, guys,
listen.
let's put a bow on this topic.
I got one more point on Francona. Then,
Yeah.
hey, for everyone out there, the next 90 minutes is all football. We promise you. I know
We
any
don't
deviation
promise
from
people. That's
football
all we do is talk football.
is
They'll
something that
survive.
hurts the audience. So the next 90 minutes is all football.
Yeah.
With Francona saying this, whether or not this is his final goodbye, the last however many games they have left, or he comes back for one more season.
Yeah.
Do you expect to see an inspired Guardians team for the remainder of the season, knowing this could be Tito's final ride, or at this point, is the
they're
team
not a
just
good
dead
team.
on
I'm about
I
to
don't
say,
think-
when you say inspired, like, it's a difference between inspired and not having the talent. Like, I just don't think
They don't have Mike. They picked up a guy off the street. He's batting third for them right
they don't
now.
have
Cole
the,
Calhoun
it's
has
just
been
not
very
there.
Huh?
Calhoun's been very fun.
I don't care. He's not part of the future. I don't know why he's playing. Call up the kid they just traded for Aaron Savali.
Manzato, he's making
He
his
just
AAA.
came off the injured list.
He's making his AAA debut tonight.
So
in
let him play
Columbus.
for a couple days down there and then call his ass up. Let's go.
Let's get this straight. When you play baseball, it has nothing to do with your want to.
Not at
It's
all.
either can you hit a curveball or can't you? Can you hit the ball straight? Can you field the ball? It has nothing to do with, you could do some extra, do 1-1 for the Gipper. You could run harder,
That's
tackle
about it,
people.
yeah.
In football or in basketball, you could play defense.
You either go hit that ball or you
I think
ain't.
they're going to finish third behind the Tigers. I've watched the Tigers the last couple of nights because they've been playing the Cubs,
They hitting.
They got a couple of hitters right now that they got it. Well, first of all, Spencer Torkelson was their top prospect, and he's putting it all together right now. But they got this kid named Terry Carpenter who kind of came out of nowhere. Who looks he looks like the real deal.
And
they just called up Austin Meadows' brother, Parker Meadows.
And what's the name? Listen, CC. What is that? C squared. What's his name? Caleb Carter. He sound like a ball player.
Who?
That guy you just mentioned.
Carey Carpenter.
Carey Carpenter
Terry
sound like a
Carpenter.
stud.
It does sound like a ball player.
C
He was
squared.
like a
He hit
20th
a
round pick
3-run
when he
home
looks
run in the
good.
first inning when Earl and I went to the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
He hit the 3-run homer in the first. The game ended 4-3. That
Yeah,
was
he
essentially
and
it.
Torkelson have both been on fire, and this kid Parker Meadows is going to be really good too. Just got called up. He got a triple yesterday on a ball that most players are getting doubles on, and he's like 6'2", 6'3". So
Oh,
I
that
couldn't believe how fast
sound
he
like
ran.
me.
Pretty much, it's you and Parker Meadows.